friends, compatriots, and general passersby. We're talking about Legends of Tomorrow because they they introduced a new character, and it was Matt Ryan, and it hasn't been after Armageddon yet. So as far as we know, this might be my second to last one doing this, if I count right, because Flash will be back in 3 weeks, I think they said. So that means two, maybe three more of these, and then we're back to doing, yeah. Anyway, um, I was happy to see a chalkboard. I was happy to see Smart Zari. Dumb Zari had her moment too in the episode before this, but that was an entirely different episode. And she did it not high, not drunk. She just proving that that character can function without. She solved the guy's. She figured out who hurt the guy. I forget if they killed him, but she did it. Yeah. But like I said, that's an entirely different episode, entirely different video. But anyway, I would like you to know that this episode was kind of frustrating for me. Frustrating. Yeah, that would be a good word for it. Because in the DC comic books, the things this show was originally based on, and don't say it wasn't, because the Time Bureau in the beginning so stringently looks like and follows the rules of the Time Masters in the comic books, the Linear Men. It ain't even funny. I mean, what was with the trial if it's if it wasn't the Punters organization anyway? Because in the comic books, it was Rip Hunter that invented time travel. And I think they know that because if you listen carefully, and I don't think a lot of people will, this guy, this new guy, played by Matt Ryan, the actor that played Constantine, he built the foundations for time travel. And that's why his machine didn't look exactly like a time sphere. It was more machiny, you know? Which I kind of like because I like that they were using the term foundation. Because if you build a foundation for a house, you still haven't built a house. You have the wood, the maybe the plumbing. I don't know, but it's not exactly a house yet. It's pieces of wood. Like Ben Franklin harnessed electricity. He didn't invent it. The electricity was always there. It was given by some force. Call it God, call it whatever you want, but Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity. Or Thomas Edison, which was in this episode, by the way, didn't invent the light bulb either. One of the guys working for him, and he owned the patent, and that's why there's so much issue around inventors that worked for Edison. Yeah, which now I'm going to talk about why I liked Icon over this. Because Icon, when they changed time and killed the leader of the Confederacy, that is something that they could have done. I mean, like, if there was a Superman. If Because that is what Icon is. He is Superman, but black. You know, this Sarah doesn't stop there from being an Einstein. Einstein's the one that introduced the possibility in our real world. He said that time travel is possible in reality, and that's why that became so popular. And the I'm not saying wasn't other people looking into this. Just Sarah would have to take out a lot more than just one guy to ruin us getting time travel and knowing about other dimensions in a world with with shrinking suits and stuff like that, because that would naturally make a person curious. I mean, Mom said something really astute when we were watching it. It, they have turned Sarah into Booster Gold. Booster Gold, for anyone that does not know, is a time traveler that built the foundations of the DC universe. I mean, and Sarah, with her and Ava, I mean, if they have Booster at this point, and Booster, his tagline is the greatest hero you've never heard of. If they have Booster at this point, and 52 actually happened, that's another thing. Did 52, one of the greatest DC stories of all time, in my opinion, ever actually happen in this DCNU, the TV universe? Because Rip Hunter was writing down phrases on the chalkboard. He was writing down phrases on the chalkboard and like tying them together. He was actually part of a lot of the grand events, like Superman landing in the field, um, the Sinestro Corps forming. You name it in the DC universe, Booster was probably part of it in some way. And it all started with Mr. Mind. Now I know, and I've said in other videos that they can't address Mr. Mind right now, but in my head, that story was always taking place in the background because I figured Greatest Hero you've never heard of, therefore, ergo, all that could be happening. But keeping in mind, they did say the guy just, and if you look at his machine, it's not a time sphere. It's barely anything. It looks like a Doctor Who TARDIS box. You know, um, it's not a full-fledged time sphere. Um, it does have, but it does have what is needed there. Could this guy be that guy trying to go back and to the Garden of Eden in Animal Man from Thanksgiving last year? Oh, absolutely. That was such a forgettable character that I forgot about him. He was that stupid. Um, do I think that the new guy could be considered a relative of Constantine? Yeah, that'd be a nice head nod, but at the same time, um, yeah, Gwen, Gwen Davies, I think it is. Um, at the same time, I think Quinn being Constantine's relative would kind of go against, and I have a feeling they're gonna make him gay. That is just a general feeling I have that they aren't going to. They're going to say they aren't going to make him anything cool or out of the box. It's just going to be queer bait. It's going to be fake representation. You know, or he's going to die right as the machine takes off, or it's going to turn out that he's the one that that gentleman that stole Gideon in the episode where they all came back is talking to at the end of this week, saying it's called a Wave Rider. Because I don't think he is that smart. Bishop. Again, I I don't like calling that character Bishop because Marvel's Bishop will always be Bishop to me. Even if DC says, no, our Bishop was first. No, 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 no. Their Bishop was on the 90s cartoon. Um, yeah. The reason I question if 52 happened to at least some extent is um I I honestly think that someone's gonna forget or has forgotten that, like I said in the comics, Rip invented time travel. Hopefully that was less than 5 seconds. Looney Tunes game, everybody. Great game. Great game. If you want to get Michigan J in the Looney Tunes game, let me know. Post comment. Yeah, we're not doing that right now, but you never know. This is the world according to Bob. Just the fact that they didn't get Matt Ryan back for Constantine. Thank you, Mom. In in the episode where they all came back, but yet they got him back for this one. I don't know. It seems a little sus to me. Whole character. The more I think about it, just seems sus. Like I said last video, if DC is smart, they will say there has been time quakes throughout. There's been time quakes throughout, and this guy is only the beginning. Just, man, they went back to the 1930s, but there's another copy of them running around somewhere helping out Elliot Ness in one of the very beginning episodes. I mean, yeah, and in my mind, they didn't erase Ava in the most recent episode. With they moved to a different timeline. They went zoop over there. Because people can't just Back to the Future out of existence. I mean, they can get glued to the source wall, but they can't get Back to the Future out of existence. Um, like they said, though, in the episode, that um shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. It'll come back to me. It always does. They were they were contradicting themselves in this episode. It was that simple. And other shows seem to be forgetting about this show too. Like how they forgot about them on Supergirl last week. In in their very final episode. Their episode featured something to do with the Fates, and Legends of Tomorrow had the Fates on it, like season 3, season 4, right around when they started dealing with magic, and I that wasn't part of my retrospective because magic in the Legends of Tomorrow's universe is just crazy. Um, it was good to see Brainy Zari again. But at the same time, it was overshadowed by everything else, like killing Edison and blowing up Hoover, and it just feels like the show's going off the rails. I hope that Rip Hunter shows up, clonks him on the head with a revolver, and says, "You ain't Bishop, buddy." Bishop. Just ends it like that. Yeah. Until next time, I've been Bob. Bob out.